Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Nations Championship, the final one of the day, and this will be Argentina taking on the Welsh. Now, Argentina losing to Scotland in round number one, looking to fire back in this home test match, whereas the Welsh, they were able to get themselves the victory over the Fijians, and because of that, they sit very nicely on the Northern Hemisphere table. If they were to win this game with a bonus point somehow, they would actually sit number one in the overall standings after the two rounds. Looking through at the starting lineups, first of all with Argentina, it is Boris Winger in the front row alongside Julio Montoya, the captain, and Thomas Rapeti. Starting in at number 3, Guido Petti and Matthias Alemano will be the locking duo, with Santiago Rondon and Marcos Crema back into the Argentinian kit, with Joaquin Oviedo starting in. As the number 8, Gonzalo Garcia and Thomas Albanos will be that 9 and 10 combination. Mateo Carreras finds himself out on the left wing. Justo Picaro is in the midfield alongside Lucio Cinti, so a bit of a change compared to last week's game. Batista Del Gui out on the right wing, and then Santiago Carreras as the number 15. In terms of this Welsh starting lineup, Rhys Carre, that man has been in phenomenal try-scoring nick, so perhaps could have a decent chance of getting over the line in this contest too. Dewey Lake and Dylan Lewis make up the rest of the front row. Ben Carter and Adam Beard in the locking duo, with James Botham, Jack Morgan, and then Aaron Wainwright slotting in as the number 8, Thomas Williams and Sam Costello, so a bit of a change in that department. Josh Adams out on the left wing, Joe Hawkins and Eddie James as the midfielders. Ellis Mee out on the right wing. That was a bit of a surprise that they opted to start him rather than Lewis Rees-Zammit, who will make his way off of the bench. And Blair Murray keeps that spot as the fullback. In this game, these two sides are just about to make their way out onto the field. We're probably about 7 minutes away from the kickoff. We've got Argentina 19, Wales 9. Is Joe Young's prediction. Los Pumas, says Peter Lowe. Will this match break today's streak and not be one-sided? I hope it's close. I'd say anywhere around that, like 10 points or less, it would be ideal. Will it be English here? It certainly will be. We will be doing the English commentary for this matchup. We have got a new channel member of Simon Reese too. Thank you very much for hitting that button. You have access to those emojis on the channel. I have Delgui to score and Argentina to score 30 thoughts. Decent chance that they will be able to get up there, Argentina, in terms of the points. I'd say, like, if it's anything like the Scottish test last week, we're going to see both of these sides scoring a decent old amount. But, yeah, it'll be intriguing. See whether or not it is fully sailing smoothly for Argentina, or whether maybe the Welsh can try and fight back that little bit. But we're about to have the national anthems. The Welsh, like I said, they were sitting top of the table after round number 1, after their victory over the Fijians. Dewey Lake, the man in charge in terms of those forwards. Hello, Hamish says PJR, welcome in. You are doing extremely well. Do let me know your score predictions for this game, ladies and gents. I read that Wales conceded 22 points on their last 10 matches. Read that Wales conceded 22... as in like a minimum of 22. That would make a bit of sense. They did concede a few points up against the Barbars in the Six Nations. Even the games where they were close, they had let in quite a few tries. So Delgi's probably the question mark of that one, as I don't see a way that this game sticks below about 60 points scored. Perfect timing, afternoon chat. Says Inquisitor. The final score doesn't say it, but the Bok one wasn't convincing, says Xander. Yeah, don't get me wrong, they did very well. And I might have to change my review title because I'm getting a lot of stick for it, because I called it Springboks narrowly beat Scotland. I've had everyone ripping into me about the fact that 14 points isn't a narrow victory, and that it was their C team as a whole. So if they had actually tried, they would have beaten them by a lot more. So yeah, I might have to change that at some stage because I'm getting in trouble. But the Welsh national anthem now just being sung. And there is plenty of passion out there in terms of these two sides. Wales, after getting themselves the victory just last week, they will feel like they've got a little bit of a resurgence. They've actually gone not too badly as well in their recent weeks. I reckon about 30-20 to Wales, says Inquisitor there. And the Welsh, they do come in as underdogs for this matchup, about a $5 underdog. So they're expected to lose by about the 10 to 15 kind of margin, somewhere around there. Now the Argentine national anthem about to be sung. It is quite a long one, but this game scheduled to kick off in 4 minutes' time. Some solid players off of the bench for both of these sides. Could anyone figure out why Pollard was sub? Someone was saying that it was because Rusty wanted to talk to him or something. That was the only reason that they came up with, but I don't know if that's actually factual. But yeah, it just seemed like a weird time to take him off when he was actually one of the stronger players out there on the field for the Springboks. He was nailing the high ball. I spent more time with you today than my kids. Are they on a camping trip? It still says PJR. We still got a couple more hours to go, of course, as well with this matchup taking place between these two sides. See, the last thing that we want here is a low-scoring game, which never really equates to too much. Not a lot of scrums. If we can avoid the scrums, that would be nice. We've seen a lot of scrums today. Argentina to take this one narrowly, says Dylan. Now, I will ask you, Dylan, what is your equivalent of narrowly? Because if you tell me anything less than 2 converted tries, I'll have to change my title of the review that we just did recently. Because I said that the Springboks won narrowly and I got in trouble. Pollard was quite a bad cheek injury, as if his tooth went through, says Grax there, and 6 points, says Dylan. Yeah, I'll definitely have to change that review then. And how was the Scott Spot game? It was good. Back and forth, really not anything like anyone was predicting. But Scotland showed a lot of heart in that contest. They were fighting for every try. They managed to score. But yeah, a very entertaining game as a whole between the sides. This is a different Argentine national anthem rendition than we are used to hearing. Top of the morning, H. And damn big ups to you pulling an all-nighter on these games after Japan. I was done. And now I should be within 7 in my opinion, says Inquisitor. And we have got the Amish thanks for keeping the animals entertained, says Inferno. Yeah, this is a very different rendition of the Argentine national anthem. Something quite almost slow and methodical about it. And let's see. A on the game can correct me, says Dylan. No, it's more that it's more the title of the last video. Tell you what, we're going to change it now. There we go. We'll get rid of the narrowly because people are getting very angry about it. There we go. We'll change it to Springboks beat Scotland. How was that South African game? I would say a narrow one between the two sides. Very close. And we have got the laughing faces from Dylan. But this is a harmonica version of the Argentine national anthem. As my handle, Graham is the name. And we have got there for a second. I thought I was going to eat haggis, says Inferno. Yeah, there would have been a few nervous moments throughout that matchup. I think it was definitely feeling like the closest game we've had of the weekend. Italy versus New Zealand at halftime was close. Then it got one-sided. France versus Australia. Well, Australia were leading by 9 points. And then they absolutely butchered it in the second 40. We have got there narrowly isn't the difference in score. The game was in the balance and the 2 winning tries came late. Yeah, but try and explain that to people who get angry about everything. It was just easier to change it. You knew what I meant. Many people knew what I meant. But, yeah. Much easier to try not to cause drama, isn't it? So disappointed about the Australian game. Well, definitely with how it started too. You know, they started with a flying hiss and a roar, as the Aussies normally do. They did concede early on, but France are very good at scoring the early tries. Imagine the poor ears of fans of any national team was played on the recorder only, says Inferno. Yeah, the national anthem has come to a close, which means we are very close to the start of this matchup. Those angry people don't really know much about rugby to begin with. Yeah, but you got to try not to fire up the angry people. Wait 1 second, we'll go like this. And we'll go like that as well. Blair Murray in the starting 15, playing from the back. I feel like Argentina will target a little bit. I changed the title extremely narrowly. No, I better not. I think there were about 30 comments about the narrow comment. We have got the South Africa. We're well tested. But can't discount the ref from Graham. And off the bench, Lewis Rees-Zammit here for the Welsh. Matthias Maroni be quite a key, as well as Pablo Matera actually making his way off of the bench. It's something that Argentina did quite nicely. Fire them up, enjoy the aftermath. Says Dylan. Yeah. It's too early in the morning for that, though, isn't it? Argentina. It's a location there. I found they hadn't really played a lot of international rugby as a whole. More of a football stadium, I believe, for this location, but it is now the home of Wales versus Argentina. A few fireworks in attendance for this game too, but quite a few Welsh making the trip, which is fantastic to see. Paul Williams, he's going to be the referee in charge of this contest. The TMO will be Eric Gorzan. So hopefully we don't see a huge amount of Eric throughout this matchup. We had our fair share of controversies throughout this weekend. Now ready to kick this one off, the Welsh, with Sam Costello. Hey, says, what's up, guys? Live, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Hamish, what was your original title, says Inferno? It was just Springboks narrowly beat Scotland. And they got angry, so I changed it to Springboks beat Scotland. So you can't get too angry at the new one. That one's going to be kicked off nicely by Wales. All drop ball from the get-go from Argentina. A little bit scrappy from the start for Joaquin Oviedo. Scotland is bad because South Africa put out an inexperienced team and won even though Scotland had a full-strength team. Says Ethan Hooker, official. And sorry, Hamish, I had a lot of drinks, so go sleep. Or going to go sleep. We'll leave it on for the algorithm, says PJR. So hopefully you do get a decent rest. Ball in the hand of Blair Murray at the moment. South Africans got angry over that? Yeah. Quite angry, I will mention. Now kicked him behind. Costello just looking to play a little bit of territory with Argentina only 5 metres out from their own line. But South African, that game was very close. Now, I agree with you, Hamish, says Inferno. Yeah, but just I changed it to just beat them, and that's easier. Now, what did you think of the way South Africa-Scotland scrums were reffed? It was all right. I think at the end of the day, like, scrums are one of those ones that are a complete lottery. Makes sense. They're probably boycotting the stream. And evening, Hamish, back for the last game, says the Massa there. I see taken by Adam Beard. Both them. The ball off the back of the rolling maul. We actually saw Jack Morgan score 2 rolling maul tries in the later stages. We have you there, what the heck? I mean, that's how you saw it. And also, you read that stuff. I love you, man. And it wasn't a narrow win, says Ethan Hooker. This one's going to be kicked in behind by Thomas Williams. Now it's slapped back onto the hands of James Botham as the Welsh move into the 22, the underdogs. Heading into this matchup, Sam Costello goes away to the left-hand side. Bit of space here for Wales to run it forward, but great low tackle and brilliant work in the breakdown from Lucio Cinti as he wins the penalty for his Argentine side, but they will go back for the original advantage. And even it was, says Inferno. Change the title. I changed the title to avoid an uprising, says Dylan. But it is going to be the penalty for the Welsh. It's a kickable 3, but I kind of like the idea of Wales going aggressive here from the get-go rather than going for anything too safe, I think is the way I'd describe it. But like I mentioned, Morgan ends up with the ball on a rolling maul more times than not. It's actually weird how often that man has got the possession when normally you see the hooker as the main try-scoring threat, which is I love digressing from the game at hand. What did you think of the opening 3 minutes? Argentina damn near knocked it on at the start. Yeah, really shaky start for the Argentines. Luckily, somehow stopped the ball from going forward in the end. Now the rolling maul set up with Dowie Lake with possession at the back. He's getting ready to break away. They try and drag him down legally. They can't do it. And Dowie Lake scores for Wales. And the continuation of the weird trend of early tries in this competition has just started back up. If Wales get a good start, Argentina could be rattled. I really hope the Pumas can turn it around. Isn't it wild that Wales right now are on a winning streak? Yeah, they're on a little bit of a run, the Welsh, and they're looking to continue on here with a try from Dowie Lake. That's a very solid try from the Welsh hooker. What on earth has happened to the Pumas this year, says Kahu. And who got man of the match in the Springboks? I think Pollard. Or it could have been actually Peter Steph. I'm not too sure who it was at the at the very end, because I watched a Pollard interview and I saw a Peter Steph Toy interview, but that could have also been because those were the two men who were in kind of the more senior roles. That kick has gone over for Sam Costello, so that'll make the score now 7-0. Ashish, am I wrong already, says Dylan. Difference between the points, this match was 14 points last time they played. Was the world where there was a 15-point difference. I am actually factually correct, saying it's a closer game. Andre Pollard for the man of the match, says Massa there. Yeah, he had a phenomenal game, and it was weird that they took him off as early as they did. But tactically, I guess it kind of worked out in the end. Now, still there. Told to use it for Thomas Williams. Wales are actually the underdog. Yeah, they were $5 underdogs heading into this match, which was a bit of a surprise, seeing as, you know, they are actually finding a little bit of momentum. Kicking that one out. Now, Argentina are going to have themselves the line out. Peter is captain. How much is the Box win in a row? They are up to 10 wins in a row if you count their game up against the Barbarians too. Now looking for a bit of a counter-ruck there was Morgan. What, says Inquisitor? Yeah, quite surprising, although to be fair, this is a beautiful play from Argentina as they look to fire back. Batista Del Gui dragged down 10 metres out from the line. Short ball to Joaquin Oviedo. And now Argentina fire back with one of their own. This could be another back and forth kind of seesaw matchup between two of these Nations Championship sides. And we have got there, I was having dinner at the airport and the one dude behind me kept jumping up and screaming. Seems like there were no nerves at all throughout the duration of the Box game, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, depends on who you talk to. I know that after the game, a lot more people started getting behind their team. There was about 50 minutes into the game where people weren't quite as confident. But, yeah. It was a good game as a whole. So Andre was not substituted. He moved to centre and finished the game there, says the Master. No, he was subbed. He went off the field for Q and Horn to make his way on. And then with Ethan Hooker's HIA, it brought Pollard back out onto the field after a short amount of time. So he was off the field for a few minutes, much shorter than they probably expected him to be off for because of Ethan Hooker's HIA, which you'd assume would mean that Hooker will not be playing next week up against the Welsh. Half time, I was looking up how to get a Scottish citizenship. Out of Wales doing round one. I haven't really been following the non-South African games, if I'm honest. So they managed to get themselves the victory over the Fijians, which was a very decent effort as a whole. That one kicked downfield. Now Joaquin Oviedo, who's up to the 22-metre line. He actually scored last week up against the Scottish as well. Have you had some sleep yet? None at all. We're still in cruise control. Oh, Marcos Crema going up for the high ball. Didn't really look like he was going to ever win that battle, other than maybe for the height factor alone. Thomas Williams now looking to the short side. Skip pass out to Alice Mee, close to the sideline somehow. Keeps the feet in the field of play. Now Sam Costello across to James Botham. I think we beat Ireland next week. What's your opinion? It'll be close. 24-hour stream, says Inquisitor. Not quite. We're at about probably 10 hours or so. I was streaming for the day, maybe a little bit more. I'm back across to the left-hand side. My eye's got to twitch this one. It's playing up a little bit. Thomas Williams goes off to Adam Beard. Now Costello delays his pass, finds Adams, who's a long way off his wing. Now Williams. Oh, drop ball from Jack Morgan. He wasn't expecting that pass whatsoever. He was thinking they were going with the skip one out wide. Now moving across field. Santiago Herreras playing from 15. Batista Del Gui. They've got some good numbers here. He looks for the flick pass, but instead will take it to ground. We have got there. Yep, it's easy if you play the right position. Says Yanko. Now Albanoz moves it away to the left-hand side. Looks like things could open up a little bit for the Welsh. Not that they could have got it much worse. Happy for them. Hope they can keep it going. Though maybe not against Los Pumas. And now another line break. This is the big man at 3 in Thomas Rapati. He's a big individual, about 135 kgs or so, I think he bills in at. Now backline, Albanoz goes to Joaquin Oviedo. Brandy can help with twitching eyes, says Xander. The Welsh double wrap tackle ironically saved. Oh, mistake by Argentina. We'll come back to that in a short moment as Murray picked it up, although now knocked on by Dylan Lewis. It's all over the park at the moment between these two sides. Albanoz goes to Santiago Herreras with the short ball. Picardo. Grondona. Up to 5 out. Now Gracia. Oh, drop ball from Marcos Crema though, so it does become the scrum feed for the Welsh just out from their own try line. The Welsh double wrap tackle ironically probably saved the Argie from knocking it on. See Yanko there. There's been some intense little half moments throughout the early stages, and it's one of those ones where one missed tackle or one slight pass away from something going right and someone scoring a try. Is it going to be a halftime show with Hamish? Halftime show with Hamish. I guess so. I'm going to still be here during the halftime break. We have the Argentina look good with ball in hand. And the box good, says Kahu. Yes. You're not allowed to say that it was a close game. You're allowed to say that the Springboks won. And you're also allowed to say that the only reason it was close was because they had their C team playing. Anything else, you get bloody bashed. We have there, when are you going to do a haka from you? Or when we're going to get a haka? No time soon. I can tell you right now. And no party for the stream. I mean, we can put on some disco music at halftime if you want. We can have a bit of a silent disco. Scrum feed now here. Or Thomas Williams. They're the best, says Yanko. I think about 5 metres out for their own line. Are you not? I never claimed to be neutral, and I'm perfectly fine admitting it was close. Far closer than it should have been. Yeah, no, I've already had a title change that says you've got to make sure you don't say that it was a close match. Currently sitting 10 minutes through this contest. Nice kick downfield from Sam Costello. We want a haka, says Inquisitor. As you can say it was a close game, but you cannot say that it was a narrow win. Says Ethan Hooker, and box of full strength. Pollard played. You make it sound like even Itzebeth is next to you, threatening you, says Inferno. Do you think the All Blacks get a win in South Africa, says Kahu? I think they'll get one at least. That's a good bit of work in the breakdown, though, from the Welsh to be able to rip it away. Well, there was Dylan Lewis, the man who dropped the ball not too long ago. Now kicked high. Nicely taken again by Argentina. Thomas Albanoz to Santiago Herreras. It was closer than the last time they played, says Inferno. Big knock on from the Argentines again, and we're back into the scrum department. I mean, 14 points up at the end doesn't even sound that close. It certainly felt much closer than that to me while it was happening. Yeah, it seemed like it was anyone's for the taking. That weird moment when they were up 21-0. Or sorry, not 21-0, but up by 21 points. It seemed like it was all done. But then Scotland fired back with 2 tries, didn't they? They got close at times. That knock on by Scotland was the turning point, says Graham. Just showing Steve Tundy, the Welsh head coach, eagerly anticipating what is to come next for this Welsh team. Thomas Williams gets that ball in. And Kellen Marshall is in the chat as well. And Marcos Crema has to be up there on terms of the list. Least like to tackle on the field, let alone fight in a bar. Says Yanko, he's a very aggressive man, isn't he, Marcos Crema? He just also looks intimidating. Don't be scared, say the word close win, says Inferno. This one's going to be kicked to behind by the Welsh, looking for the 50-22, but it goes out on the full. Costello apologises to his teammates. He knows that that was a big opportunity that they have just blundered. 12 and a half minutes in. Angus Gardner, the man on the touchline for this game. Paul Williams, the main referee in charge. I noticed that the only thing are you allowed to say is that the Boks are on fire and give away the next World Cup to them. Yeah. No comment. 6-7, says Kelsey. Is that still a thing? I thought that one kind of fizzled out a while ago. think out of anyone active now, Kremer is the closest to Eben Orbakius. He's got that enforcer factor. Says Yanko. And we got time as long as the ball's in the Pumas half, says Inquisitor. Now going away to the left-hand side again. Big shot on Thomas Albanos. I'm being told to use it. Garcia. Matthias Alemano. It looks like Garcia is actually opting for the box kick. We appreciate all your effort, Hamish. Says HTV, thank you very much. It is greatly appreciated for your donation there. And does today's good victory mean Rasi will play his D team against Wales? Says Ian. I think there'll definitely still be more changes. Who's making the final, France versus Box or someone else? I think it's going to be Ireland. Because France have lost to New Zealand as well. Oh, no, France got the win over Australia, didn't they? But I think that Ireland, because of their 2 victories so far, I don't know, I feel like I like their chances. Oh, but then they've got New Zealand next week. It'll be Ireland or France. I think those are the 2 sides. And what to cover Norway versus England FIFA World Cup game? No. I think it might be free to air here in New Zealand, but I should be asleep by the time that one finishes. That one's not going to find touch from Sam Costello. Argentina going for the boot back downfield of their own, chased hard by Batista Del Gui. What a take from him. Mateo Carreras now sitting 10 metres out from the line, but the physicality of Argentina in the air has won them the possession. Garcia going across to the right-hand side. Skip pass from Santiago Carreras. Out wide, ball on the inside. Getting over the line now. It is Justo Picado. And Argentina strike back-to-back tries. Expecting my call-up from Rasi against Wales any day now. And also, can we play this South African under 21s instead, says Inquisitor. I didn't think you ever slept. I haven't yet, but I will be planning to do it for a short period of time. I'll probably sleep till mid-afternoon, because or else then I'll be very tired tonight. Try of the day, says HDB. France have a terrible record against the Box in France. Ireland have a great record against them. That could be the difference, to be fair, of who makes the final. Wales gone away, says Kelsey. Yeah, they did start well, but unfortunately, from there, Argentina seems like they've got that momentum back here. That's a nap, not sleep, says Dennis. You probably are right. That kick has gone over, making the score now 14-7 in favour of Argentina. But 100% kicking accuracy at the moment for for Thomas Albanos. One second, we go like this. And like that as well. If of Argentina, that's not very nice, Kelsey, is it? 2 tries for the Argentines. They need 2 more to receive that bonus point. It said 6% chance for Wales on the screen before the game started. Where did they get that from? I don't actually know. I think they just make it up sometimes based off maybe previous head-to-heads and whatnot, maybe the strength of the squads. I always find it impressive when like bookmakers have their odds, because sometimes you look at them and you go, that doesn't seem right. We have got there, what is it supposed to be? Ready to go for TV to get F is gone. Exactly, yeah. And also, where are they supposed to F off to? They're already home, says Yanko. It's not a fair matchup now. Loose ball picked up by Garcia. Wales just starting to let it slip a little bit in terms of the openness. Now, Joaquin Oviedo. Side of the opposition half. Garcia again goes away. Little grubber attempted to mine by Santiago Carreras. A knock on at the back from Sam Costello. No, in fact, he's managed to still control that ball the whole time. Hey, didn't you say Box by 15? They won by 14. Pretty good from you. Yeah. Yeah, I was actually quite close. But I was strategic because I didn't actually give like a proper scoreline. I just said how many points they'd win by. So I feel like I can't really claim it that much. They got the handicaps wrong for the Japan and Scotland game today. I was far too high today at 18. Says HDB. Now, Rhys Curry scored last week in the game up against the Fijians. Waikato pass to Josh Adams. Curry staying down there? Nah, he's back up on his feet. He is an absolute Terminator in the proper department. Julio Montoya may have taken a bit of a shot to his face here. Looks like Williams is going to opt for the box kick once more. My ideal score here would be 38-32. I want Argentina to win, but I don't want Wales to lose, at least not by much, says Yanko. Okay, so you're giving both sides bonus points. Why, dude? What's your name, by the way? Says Kelsey, so my name is Hamish. And Massa, Wales will be hurting badly. On Kimberley's cricket pitch, ambulances everywhere. Well, it was nice when Wales were winning for a moment, says Big Rig, kick back downfield from Murray, and it goes into touch. I mean, there is no way you would have thought that the final scorer for the Box versus Scotland game. Yeah, see, I would have gone, if I went Box by 15, I would have gone like 30-15 or somewhere around there. I wouldn't have gone as high scoring as we actually had. Morning, everyone, says Clint. Welcome in. A little bit of medical attention happening now. It's not morning, mate. It's night time. Depends on where you are in the world, Kelsey. There are different time zones, fun fact. 10 seconds into the review about the South Africa game, the guy says, what a close game. I think the people were commenting, they were just furious. They pooped themselves at halftime, says Inferno. Mox were very lucky, says Phil. That's why I said it's not a fair matchup. Too many advantages for grief. Come on, Delgi, I need 2 from you. Oh, see, you need 2 from Delgi. Someone else needs Delgi and Argentina to score 30. Looks like a bit of blood at the moment for Julio Montoya, just coming out of the forehead. He did take that knock in the breakdown not too long ago. That's a lot of strapping on his head. He probably won't be able to hear anything. Tackles made at the moment, pretty even. 23 made by Argentina, 24 made by Wales. But Argentina have missed 3 tackles. Wales have missed 9. And some of those missed tackles have resulted in counter-attacks from the Argentinians. And they have been able to create a few gaps along the way too. One second, we'll go like this. And I like that as well, and because it's a gentleman's sport, says Inferno. Line out for Montoya. I guess that's why they had to stop the game for so long, because they needed him to then throw this ball in. The Box played bad today against a stronger than average Scottish team. I don't know. What would World... that was Lucky. Lucky would have been an absolute flattening them. Put like 50 on them, says Yanko. Now on to the halfway line. Argentina with Garcia looking for this ball. They're playing quite a kicking-orientated game plan at the moment, Los Pumas. Now this one's going to be kicked high again. Crema chasing after it. Nicely taken by Alice Mee. Now, Thomas Williams, I would say more than likely they will take a couple phases here, Wales, and then they will go for the kick downfield of their own. That is exactly what Thomas Williams will do. Looking towards that sideline. Doesn't find touch. Herreras. Back to Thomas Albanos. And Joe, I think only, a Tom Curry. Well, Williams just trying to make sure that all of the Welsh players stay on side. Scary Cooper shows the question, block any Good Friday, any attack of the ghost. It's not being easy, being left the most effort. You know when you read words and nothing registers in my brain? That's what just happened there. I have no idea what you just said, Kelsey. But you're probably right. It's going to be the penalty going the way of the Welsh here. Do you think Wales will get a waking up next week against the Box, says Kahu? What do you mean a waking up? Like as in like they've already been woken up many times throughout the last couple of years. Will it be a tough game up against South Africa? Absolutely. Will it be a narrow victory? Probably not. The Box game gave me flashbacks of Australia at Ellis Park. My heart was in my hands the whole time. Okay, so they said there that Dylan Lewis, he did lose his feet after getting the turnover, but that is completely fine now. Rolling Maul, setting up here for the Welsh who are on the attack. Thomas Williams passes away to the left-hand side, still marching forward here. They've got plenty of big forwards. Reece Carre being one of them. He will always hit it at the line extremely hard. Jack Morgan, double last week, getting only 5 metres out from the line now. Come on, Wales, don't let them bully you. Says Big Rig, and Wales need to win and hopefully retain number 1 on their table. And Hamish, I don't like Gregor Townsend, says Power Bite. Did you like him for short periods of time during that game, though, Power Bite? They weren't going too bad, the Scots. Now, 5 metres from the line again, Aaron Wainwright. Who's it going to be? Reece Carre going sideways. There is a new advantage in play now. Who are they looking for? Williams goes middle of the park. 1 metre short of the line. Picked up and again just short for Thomas Williams. Who's it going to be? This looks like Jack Morgan is situated over the ball currently. It looks like he's trying to roll it backwards. No, he doesn't. He scores it himself. Jack Moore, hang on. Hang on. Has he got it, Jack Morgan? Or have they found something? Well, so many empty seats isn't very... Yeah, it isn't very full, unfortunately. Okay, he's bound into that ruck, so he can't pick up that ball and score is what they're going to be checking here for the possible Jack Morgan try. Actually, the one that we saw, was it for the English? Yes, it was. Jamie George got this one disallowed for something just last week in very similar fashion, but they want to see if he joined the ruck as a bound player or whether he is still able to play at it. It seemed like initially he was going to be rolling it between his legs. They also have already got the advantage anyway here, Wales. You're just waiting for the replay here. So they're saying there has to be someone at the back of the ruck. Rugby is jolly complex, isn't it? Yeah. Just like that moment in the box game where Vesa got carried for a while. Is he? I don't know about this one. I think we need another angle because Morgan seems like he's kind of still playing as the 9 here. Looks like initially he was just trying to find that ball in the breakdown. It looks like he's trying to get that ball back. He had his hand down though, Jack Morgan. Yeah, I don't know. I think they might rule this one as the same as the other one. Let's see the title. Italy solved the All Blacks for 40 minutes. Nice one. Rather see All Blacks found a new ref. Says the underdog. And I'll say he's not the last man, says Inferno. And need Morby to start at fullback to link with Jordan D-Mac benched. Yeah, see, there'll be some reshuffles, I think, that we'll see from the ABs. Right, the TMO has a big decision to make here. This one isn't as obvious as the Jamie George one. It is similar to that English try last week. Nigel said touching it was enough. Says so incredible. And the verdict is... No, they're still looking at it. Everybody told me it was a close game. Between South Africa and Scotland now is conceding 40 points a close game. Says Power Bite. And number 4 was acting like number 9, says Inferno. Okay, I think communications between the TMO and the referee may also not be working properly. Okay, no evidence to overturn the on-field decision. Oh, no. Okay, so the TMO said he's got no clear evidence. Paul Williams says he personally feels like there is evidence, so he wants to see it again. We have their morning, brother. Will Ireland beat the All Blacks at Eden Park? Be quite the achievement, wouldn't it, to be able to break that streak? Okay, the New Zealand referees are taking over the TMO here. The TMO is saying there's no evidence to overrule the on-field decision of try. Paul Williams now has said to both of his assistant judges, they feel like he was a part of that ruck. What was the on-field try? On-field call. On-field call was try. Paul Williams is now changing his mind alongside his assistants. He's leaning on that ruck is what they are saying there. Yeah, correct decision, even though I'm supporting Wales. Well, consistently wise, this needs to be ruled as no try because or else then, that one of Jamie George's last week, even though it was more obvious. Yeah, so it's going to be no try as his arm was down. They did already have the penalty advantage, though. So they go back for the original penalty. That one took about 5 minutes to get to, though, didn't it? And Wales got the ball, says Kelsey. A rugby inconsistent, never, says Big Rig. It was a draw temporarily, which for South Africa is as good as a defeat. Then they got out ahead, but Scotland almost closed in again and came within 7. Bizarre from the TMO, says HDB. Yeah, obviously he didn't watch that England versus South Africa game, but they've gone for the quick tap here. Wales throwing Dewey Lake right at the line. Now Williams. Going short ball, Reece Curray, no one can stop him. He goes in again. The big Welsh prop is almost impossible to get that man that close to the try line, but he's gone in again, Reece Curray. He scored up against absolutely everyone. He's had 6 career tries. He scored up against some of the top sides around the world. Live referee, just watch out. Argentina, I just gone Wales, just got a try. And all that fuss, and they just scored again, says Big Rig there. And the big man, Reece Curray, gets over again. I don't know how he does it. See it there, the celebrations from the Welsh teammates there too. All that fuss and they just score again, says Big Rick. Yeah, took a little while. The conversion did also go over, so now the match is sitting 14-14 between these two sides. Kicked off long, nicely taken by James Botham, and that's the hammer. Says Inquisitor number 11 just made a huge sprint for what's the softest tackle. And they call him Reece Bialcarre, says Big Rig. Well, he scored last week up against the Fijians. He scored this game. He scored up against the French, the Scottish, and maybe the Irish. Yet he's still supposed to be a prop, but I don't think anyone's actually told him that he's a prop. So, he'll be pretty happy with that again. That was pretty unethical. Says the underdog, going to draw them possibly. The draw could be on the cards. 14-all at halftime it took in the South Africa versus Scotland game. In what world does Josh Adams get it selected ahead of Lewis Rees-Zammit? Yeah, that was probably the big surprising selection for the Welsh as a whole. And then it's extremely close, says Dylan there. Now Garcia moves away to the right-hand side. Thomas Albanos out to Mateo Carreras. And almost turning it into a rolling maul there, the Welsh. Back across to the right again. Drop the shoulder. Was Sinti. Garcia again, Marcos Crema. Told to get out of there. Garcia pops it up now to Albanos. Ball on the outside. Batista Delgui will be 7 meters short. Now, Julio Montoya stands out like a sore thumb at the moment because he has got a whole heap of white tape all around his head trying to hold him together up top. Almost looks like a yarmulke at the moment, the way that it's sitting. It's kind of come off the cut for Julio Montoya. Now, Joaquin Oviedo getting very close to the line again for the Argentinians. Marcos Crema was chomping at the bit, but instead they go out to Justo Picaro. Josh Adams is an elite finisher. He's got some magic tries. Says Inquisitor, and that's going to almost be a finish. No, Oviedo gets held up. He dove for the line. Paul Williams just trying to calm everyone down here, saying that there wasn't much of a cheap shot put in from the Argentines. As Hans time in NFL has impacted his rugby. And you can see it's a football stadium with the fencing stopping the fans. Says Inferno there too. And top effort, lads. Keep going since early morning for us in the UK. Superb effort, says says Paul. I don't know how I read that as Mark. But yeah, it's currently 7:45 a.m. We started yesterday at 4:30 p.m. New Zealand time. So it's certainly been a day and a half, but it's been a thoroughly entertaining one as a whole. The ref does not give advantages easily, says So Incredible. I bring on Lewis Rees at late game when the legs are tired. Yeah, it'll be quite an impact sub, you would think, for the Welsh here. Now Albanos pops it across to the left-hand side. Again, there's an advantage and penalty. Just the penalty. It's the call there from Paul Williams. I think Argentina may consider 3 points with where they are on the field. Where does South Africa sit in the Nations Championship? They are currently at the top on their side of the draw, just ahead of New Zealand. Oh, yeah. I think that's still the case. Hang on. I'll have a quick look. It's either New Zealand or Georgia beating Samoa. Nice. 1 second. Tables. Yeah, South Africa are sitting first with 10 points, and New Zealand sitting on 10 points in second, but the points differential between the two sides is 6. I feel like Wales should have given an advantage when they were holding up the one player and 2 Argentinian players just spear tackled them to bring their man to the ground, says Inferno. And we have got there, where do South Africa sit in the Nations? Oh no, I read that one. What PEDs do you use, Hamish? How do you stay coherent for all that time? I mean, I have water. Water's supposed to be good for you. I don't know what they put in the water up here, but something in it, I guess. But no, I think my brain just stops working outside of these live streams. As soon as the match ends, I swear I just sit here and have no thoughts. I'll just sit in silence and forget what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, Crema. We can cross up to Mateus Alemano. And Argentina again in a very good position on the field currently. We mentioned if Wales win this game, they can potentially go back to number 1 in the overall standings for the Northern Hemisphere. They would have to win this game by 3 or more points and receive the bonus from it. Oh, Joaquin Oviedo. England playing soccer at 11 p.m, says Mohadeen. Or as we say in the UK, Bo-O-O-Wawa. Did I at all say that correctly or absolutely butchered it? I have no idea what that word's supposed to be. They're now a no advantage in favour of Los Pumas. Now moving it on. Alba, nice, beautiful, quick hands, but it has actually led to absolutely no one. I'll go back for the penalty again for Argentina. The dreaded 14-14, says Graham. Yeah, this one's been an all too familiar scoreline for today. More attention coming now for Boris Winger. Oh, bottle of water. I would have never got that. Even looking at it now, I can see it, but without seeing that, I would have had no chance. Do you own any of the team shirts? Yeah. I've got... what have I got? I've got a couple All Blacks kits. I've got a Springboks kit. Well, not a kit, but like a polo. I've got a Chiefs kit. A Hurricanes kit. A Glasgow Warriors kit. I think that's all of them. Are you playing golf today? No. I did get offered golf. Isaac and his partner are going to be going to a course that's about 40 minutes away from me. But they're going to be going about 20 minutes after this game ends. And I shouldn't drive halfway across the town while being sleep deprived. No stolen there from the Welsh. Montoya isn't looking too fresh. He's got a lot of blood coming out of his face at the moment. That strapping that they put on only stayed on for a very short amount of time. Now Thomas Williams kicks this one down towards the sideline. If I sent you a USA Rugby jersey, would you wear it? Probably. I've also got a Chilean kit that someone gave me ages ago. We have you there. You're doing New Zealand versus France in the under-20s on Monday? Hoping to, yes. I think Rasi is a definite A, or has a definite A team, Or are you just rotating to see everyone perform at this stage? I think there'll be certain players that are down on Rusty's like main team sheet, but he'll have a lot of gaps that he's trying to fill in. Anyone from Johannesburg? I have a question for all you. Says Inferno. Rolling maul again, Montoya. Controlling this ball at the back as it still marches in the right direction. There's a new advantage. Now going right. Quick hands, nicely taken by Mateo Carreras. And playing this whole half under advantage at the moment, or at least in this last kind of 3 or 4 minutes for the Argentines. Paul Williams, he's keeping a close eye on everything that's happening off the ball at the moment. Now, running it high with Cinti. Garcia moves it across to Guido Petty. Not really making a huge amount of meterage as of yet here. Someone's boot went flying. And they'll go back now for another penalty. When's Riley Norton back? I think someone mentioned he was out for like 8 to 10 weeks. Yes, Johannesburg ask away, says Arabic Jesus. And borrow a bottle of Bovril in South African. Says, cool story. Right, this just feels like it's only now a matter of time. Number 1 maul entry. It was Mateo Carreras' boot that got thrown away. We'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. And I finally saw the way a bot player lifted Visa in the kickoff and ran with him in mid-air. Yeah, highly illegal, but the law book's too long to be able to ping every single little thing. But like someone said, you can't actually defend it. So you chuck him over your shoulder and you just run with him. Because no one's allowed to touch him and they're not allowed to tackle you because you're not the guy with the ball. I don't think anyone would ever try a tactic like that, but it could be effective. Now rolling maul here again for the Argentines. You can see Julian Montoya in the middle of it because of that headband. He's getting close to the line now, the Argentinian skipper, but he'll be 1 meter short. Now, very close, bit of a headstand attempt, and I think it's Crema. Maybe who's got that ball down. Yes, it is. It's Marcos Crema who crosses the line for Argentina. We have got there someone to hear your prayers, someone who cares. Says Inquisitor, but Crema with his 4th career try. See, the fact that he's a loose forward / lock and he's scored less tries than Reece Curry just tells you how busy Curry has been since getting into that international Welsh kit. A solid rolling maul initially. We'll mention also, I've seen this throughout the weekend, 30-second shot clocks in this competition rather than the 1 minute like you see in some other competitions around the world. And where do Argentina play the Springboks? I'm not sure of the exact location that they're playing them. Colin has said try there. I wasn't given Henson who did that first. George North has also picked up dudes trying to tackle him. Didn't North pick up Israel Folau? Was that who he picked up? Or am I thinking of the wrong one? Someone picked up Israel Folau and then kind of got DDT'd. But yeah, this was his own teammate that he picked up. So he pretty much threw him up to grab the ball. Vesa took it and then they just held him up and ran forward while still holding the player in the air. 21 points to 14 after that kick has gone over. Argentina are 1 try away from the bonus point in this contest. Right, they are now making the change of Julian Montoya. They're saying just giving him a little bit of a medical attention here to make sure that that blood is not going to be a factor for him heading further in this match. And North picked up Folau. Henson picked up a teenager. Oh. See, I don't know much about Gavin Henson, so I don't know whether or not that's like a reference to something else or whether it was literally like a young player that he was up against. Our driving time is impressive. Oh, sorry, imprecise. Depends on traffic and speed. A taxi is probably quicker than me. It's going to be another penalty, this time going against the Argentines. Oh, no, sorry. In fact, it's against the Welsh. Okay, so you're an absolute legend. You have spent a heck load of time on the live stream, says Tyler. Yeah, we're into about the 10th hour that we've been live. But it's been enjoyable. It's been a quick old day of action. 1 second, we'll go like this. Yeah, like that. And also, I swear nearly every person in Johannesburg says in kilometres, which is completely different to Cape Town, where everyone I know uses minutes. It was so frustrating when I worked in Johannesburg for the month. Now 22 out. Julio Montoya, he is nowhere to be seen for now, as he was getting some blood bin attention. So Inacio Ruiz. Gavin Henson picked up Matthew Tate, the teenager on his England debut. Okay, that's much better than I thought. Like when they first said it, I thought it was going in a whole different direction, like he had been done for something later on in life. But no, now I'm glad that it was in a rugby match. Now 2 minutes left. Argentina looking for that bonus point. Would you sack Rossi and take his job? No way. I wouldn't want to coach like any side in rugby. Even like a side on a Saturday, like a casual team, I think would suck in terms of having to worry about the stress. And we have got there, didn't need anyone picking him up. He just dived over the scrum, now running it out wide. Santiago Herreras can't quite get through the tackle of Sam Costello. Garcia, short ball, Argentina right on the 5 metre now again. Looking to get over with Inacio Ruiz. Tries to spin, big number 3. The tight head roll, Rapeti short. Now Winger thinking about reaching out. Garcia going away to the left. Albanoz, so many options for Argentina. And Santiago Herreras will be the man who finishes it off. I just wanted you to get theory, but again, I haven't conducted wide research. Just curious why there's a thing on Johannesburg when compared to other cities I've been to. We have there the junior box, did that lift and push forward in the 104-point game against Uruguay, says Anthony. You see, it's like an interesting move. Like, it looks cool, but there is, I think, a law that says you're not supposed to do it. But then I think it depends on how long you do it for. Thanks for all the extra long hours. You stay awake to provide us with some great commentary, says Brian. And we're doing it all next week. Same again. 5 matches in quick succession. 1 second. We'll go like this and like that. There we go. So these are the games that are taking place next week. Again, there's not a lot of break. And in fact, there's a lot less break than we had this time because we took off Ireland versus Japan from this weekend. So yeah, New Zealand versus Ireland, followed by Australia versus Italy. And then jumping into Fiji, Scotland, South Africa, Wales, and then Argentina, England close out the rugby weekend. And also, this is concerning as well as next week travel to South Africa. And the thoughts on the new bonus point system where you need 3 more tries than your opponent instead of just scoring 4 in a match, says Justin. In this competition, it is the 4 tries. Super Rugby have been doing the 3 or more than your opposition for quite some time. Garcia just kicked that ball into touch and it actually hit someone's camera. So he did apologise to them, but that is halftime now. 28 points to 14 in favour of the Argentines. And if we can't make this game close, South Africa is going to be brutal. But does it ever snow by you? Not really. Not where I am. Like, there's snow on all the hills, but nothing like here. But it is cold enough. I think it's currently 0 degrees. It's an absolute scorching day. Hopefully it gets warmer throughout the next few hours. What do we got? Weather for today. -2 is the low. High of 11. It's supposed to be 11 at 2 p.m. I'll be sleeping. But yeah, currently it is -1 according to this. With the real feel of -2. So it's toasty. My friend just got a world map tattoo. I guess what he forgot, New Zealand. Says Inferno. And also, I hope Eminence BF is not playing next against Wales. And perfect golfing weather, Hamish, says Massa. If I hadn't done an all-nighter, I definitely would have gone golfing today. Although it's been very wet as well. We've had a massive amount of rain in recent times, so the golf courses are pretty much all closed or half flooded. The second half of this fixture going to be about probably 13 or so minutes away from starting back up. We'll get the shot clock going. But yeah, in terms of those games next week, we didn't quite list through them in depth. We'll go like this. So Fiji, Scotland, that'll be intriguing because the Fijians are yet to get themselves a win in this international window. We've seen Argentina have some valiant efforts. They are currently beating the Welsh. Put them in that kind of mid-range of the Southern Hemisphere table. South Africans up against the Welsh. I think we'll have, to be fair, I think New Zealand, Ireland should be close. Japan, France should win by a bit. Australia, Italy, you would think Australia should win. But at the same time, you just never know because that side's been up and down all over the place. Scotland should beat Fiji. South Africa should beat Wales. And then Argentina, England, sometimes pretty close, but England were able to beat the Argentines twice on Argentinian soil last year. And you'd say they'd probably have the momentum after just beating the Fijians as well. But then after that, we got the November stage. Now, I like the November stage a little bit more. And the reason I like it that little bit more is because the games are actually happening on different days, rather than it all being back to back to back to back like we get to see for the Southern Hemisphere matches. Instead, we get to see a little bit of separation in terms of the contest, Ireland versus Argentina. That will be taking place, and that's about 112 days now, rather than the 119. But then 4 matches back to back, which once again is very doable. And then on the Monday, also England versus Australia, which should be a good old contest. 4 tries for the Pumas and not one from the guy I picked, says Clint. And also, I did not know that Super Rugby had that system in place already. Thanks for educating me, says Justin. No worries at all. And after all the rugby, we still have Norway versus England in the FIFA quarterfinal. Welsh back really standing to the Argentine back, says Jeff. South Africa versus Wales is the most unpredictable game at the moment after today's performance. And maybe next time you should ask how long it takes to get there, then how far it is. Way you get, or you will get a more Cape Townian answer. Sunday is back-to-back though, Hamish. Says Kiwi Rob, it is. But there's also a game on Saturday and a game on Monday. So, like, you get the back-to-back-to-back, but you don't have 6 games all after each other. Are you doing Curry Cup next week? Not sure, to be honest. I think that next week, well, actually, next week definitely not, just because of the fact that there's still international rugby and there's all those games one after each other. Nothing like a South Island winter, eh, Hamish? Beautiful place. Argentina finally clicked into gear. Says Colin. How does the Nations Championship format work? Says Jeff. So pretty much it's split into 2 groups, the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere, even though, of course, Japan is in the North, but they count as the South. Then from there, 1 second, we'll click there. And we'll click there as well. So everyone plays everyone in terms of the opposite grouping. So everyone from the Northern Hemisphere pool plays everyone in the Southern Hemisphere pool. And then you have 3 matches in July, 3 matches in November, and then it's into the final stage. Now, for the final stage, you pretty much just face the side that are the same ranking on the other side of the draw. So, for instance, the bottom team will play the bottom team. And that is taking place in November on the Saturday 28th. We get to see the 3rd Southern versus the 3rd Northern. But then the last game, it is going to be on the Monday, and that will be the final, which is the 1st Northern versus 1st Southern team. So it's 1 extra week of November internationals. Do you remember talking about Goofy during the World Cup? Not really, if I'm honest. As South Island, basically New Zealand's Patagonia. What's Patagonia? Is that like a place, maybe? If it's cold there, yes. And up the mighty south says Q Physics. And Wales lose 58.9 for the box. Well, that's the thing. Rassi, it's crazy to think we're going to know his lineup tomorrow for us here in New Zealand. It's probably 2 days for you guys in South Africa, but yeah, it's already pretty much in. I think I have some spare Springbok cards for you. Says Inferno. And we need Argentina to win the games or to tie the games up. When the South Africa versus Scots scores, we're 14 all. Did you at any stage think the Box might lose? It slightly crossed my mind, but I felt like second half there was going to be the fight back. Planning a trip to New Zealand with the fam. What place would you recommend for me? I'm thinking Christchurch is so incredible. What do you like to do? Do you like to see landmarks? Do you like to do activities outdoors? Do you like snow? Do you like beaches? What's your poison? So incredible. Do you give Wales a chance next week? Not really, no. Patagonia is a southern part of Argentina and Chile because they're both such long countries. They have a bunch of different climates. Patagonia is a mountainous, snowy south. Okay. Yeah, so we don't quite get the snow side of things other than on the hills. I'm brutal. Says Inquisitor. And Lo don't answer that H. And landmarks and outdoors. You see, Christchurch is all right in terms of like being able to have a bit of a look around. It's also close enough to most other areas. Yeah, I definitely recommend some, like, if you're touristy, if you like your touristy stuff, Wanaka or Queenstown's quite good in the South Island. If you like scenery, Coromandel up in the North Island's quite nice, depending on the time of year. That's where I got the worst sunburn in my life, and it really hurt my feet. Do you regret doing England versus Fiji game? Not really, no. It's a game of rugby. It was kind of close in the first half for the first 10 minutes. Imagine playing rugby in the snow. They probably do somewhere, right? I know that they play cricket in the snow up north. But yeah, it'd be pretty chilly playing in the snow. It would be doable as long as the field's not frozen. If the field was frozen, it would be absolutely miserable. Where's a good place to see traditional Māori culture? You'd probably be looking more at the North Island, I would say, rather than the South. But there are plenty of Marais around. And who would you start in a loose trio versus the Irish next week? Well, that is something I've got to think about because I am going to be doing my normal video of who do I want to see play up against the Irish. And I'll be honest, Wallace Satiti's giving me a headache in terms of what to do now. We have got there. You look tired, please go sleep and leave the live stream, says Mohadeen. And it will be summertime. I love outdoors and the heat hates me. Okay, so yeah, Coromandel's quite good. If you like a little bit of fishing and a little bit of scenery and whatnot. But yeah, it just depends on what you really like. Like, I'll show you, that's like, I don't know how clear it will be. That's that's Coromandel type of beaches that you'll see there. But yeah, there's a bit of everything. And the good news is a lot of the locations you don't actually have to travel that far to get to somewhere new that you want to look at. I went to college in the far north. We played rugby in the snow often. Had some extra long scrums so we could all warm up. We're only 41 hours away from France versus Baby Blacks. And else is okay as well. Sears Kahu. We have there. I'll be interested in learning about or speaking to someone who knows about all their history and mythos. I'm in Canada, and in school we played rugby outside all year long. Yeah, it's pretty cold too up there, isn't it? And England and Ireland once played in mud, so neither team could run. Ended 0-0 after 80 minutes of 30 men slowly falling over. Is there any footage of that game? That would be actually quite funny to watch. Nelson is okay. Oh, they're just showing Josh Morby in that Super Rugby Pacific final between the Hurricanes and the Chiefs. Of course, that man made his debut today for the All Blacks and had a pretty decent run at it. Made an impact as soon as he made his way off of the bench, and he's now given many people a headache too when it comes to the selection side of things, whether or not they chuck him in the environment or whether you keep him out of it. Vai at 6 with Larkai on the bench. See, I was more close to putting putting Larkai back in. But I think, no, I have an idea. Because Jacobson's got a calf injury, so you need a new 7. Do I tell you the idea now or do I save it for the video? How's your girlfriend doesn't exist anymore? How many tries did Messi score? I mean, Santiago Herreras has some pretty close to Messi skills. He was able to get one. We have the mock depths are so strong. How can their under-20s be so good? And they have multiple first-string teams with the big South African team. Unreal. Says Kahu. We have there, save it, says Jeff. And wait, save it, says Inquisitor. Yeah, it's not an absolute crazy curveball, but it's a bit of a switch that some might not like, but I like. I think it's a good choice. I don't know what to do with the front rows, though. Because, in fact, no, I'm lying. I know what to do with the front row, other than the hooker. Because do you go with, like, who's got the international experience at Eden Park? I feel like you have to, right? But you've also got two guys who are doing very well form-wise that could easily jump in too. There you go, Wales says Wafer. I'm just getting a tourism ad for Queenstown on the screen at the moment. So that's a hint, maybe. As what I see announcing his team Monday, I think he will. He'll go nice and early again. They'll probably end up with a late injury change like always, but for a start, it will be the team that's taken to the field. About 3 minutes remaining of this halftime break, ladies. It's actually probably less than that because I did start the timer slightly late. I don't know why, but it's become my obsession that anytime it's a halftime break, start the timer so that I can see how long it takes them. It's supposed to be a 15-minute break period, but sometimes it is slightly longer or sometimes it seems like shorter. The players are a lot more organised. But we got 40 minutes to go, whereas the DJ... Oh, I forgot about the DJ music, didn't I? What do we got? I don't want to make it too loud. I don't want to be blasting your eardrums. What do we got? They've got, like, different tracks that you can use. Hang on. I don't know whether or not that one fits their old rugby vibe. We've got lo-fi. What's lo-fi? I don't even know what lo-fi is. This sounds like, you know when they have like an ad, but they don't have actual ads. They have like, we'll be right back. This is the type of music that they put in behind that, isn't it? You know, and then all of a sudden they say, hey, we're all back, ladies and gentlemen. There's not many songs available on there. I've got a few of Isaac's tracks, but I don't know whether or not they'll match the halftime vibe that you're after. And who will be out this week with injury? The ones who are injured. I'm not too sure who they are, though, and when will relegation start? For this competition, they don't have it. It's just pretty much the top six of the North and the South. I thought, I'd never forget that. I was being goofy about a dog. But so is Pluto, and why their intelligence is so different. Oh! Actually, now that you've said it like that, there was that whole big conversation, wasn't there? Because Goofy can talk, whereas Pluto has no life skills. So maybe I do remember that conversation. But they're just about to make their way back out on the field. Are you going off form? I had Sonia Namua ahead of Kayla. Coaches seem to be loving Cody for some reason, says Jeff. Yeah, I think it's down to what he did at international level last year. But I don't know if I could get away with putting Tolkiaho's starting lineup Amur off the bench without people having pure outrage for not including Taylor at Eden Park. Kia ora, Hamish, Andy Scott, Cantab and York England. Welcome in. Andy, hope you're doing well. I feel like I called you Hamish, you got put on hold. But now we're ready to kick off for the second half. 5 seconds before they kick us back underway. 40 minutes of action. Argentina will beat England. Says Power Bite there. Currently, Argentina have got themselves the 14-point lead in this matchup. They've got a bit to work with. Who's that bloke? That is number 18. So he is on the field for Dylan Lewis. Just looking around for who else has been subbed. I have a feeling they may have made the changes in the front row here. Yep, so Nicky Smith is also out there now for the Welsh. And good enough. Now you sort of remember now anyway. See, it's a cool story. Yeah, see, I'm forgetting a lot of things now, unfortunately. Oh, bit of work in the breakdown from Nicky Smith. I don't know how legal the work was, but he was trying. And Boa Bite, let's hope so. And we're about to get back underway. And New Zealand beat Italy. They certainly did by 30 points in the end, but that game felt a lot closer at times. Definitely in that first half. Our left, Garcia moves it across. The hands of Picardo. By Alice Mee. It's a big ask for the Welsh at this point. Hopefully we can get a couple more scores at least. Says Inquisitor. Ball's there again. Garcia pops it up to Mateo Carreras. Big chopping tackle on Franco Molina. Nice one-handed work. And the breakdown from Jack Morgan, who manages to win the ball for the Welsh through the body on the line. And he is certainly brilliant when it comes to those steals. 44 minutes until England versus Norway. You're going to stream? No. I think I'll skip that one. I don't even know if it's being shown in New Zealand for free. 1 second. I'll go here. And sport. Yeah, just kicking this one into touch as well. I should mention. Oh, it's locked. So they're showing Argentina, Switzerland for the quarterfinals. But that's the only one that's being shown. Do you know Dracus du Plessis fighting next week up against Kamaru Usman? I didn't even realise that card was happening. Well, like that was a fight that was coming up. It's not free, says Clint there. Do you ever get creeped out by what fans comment on your feeds, Hamish? I wouldn't say I get creeped out. I get concerned every once in a while. Nice sell of the dummy. Big run forward from Julio Montoya. I move back up to the 22 now. Argentina, who are just dominating the position at this stage of the contest. Kicked him behind. This one might have a bit too much on it. Just goes dead in the end. I thought the All Blacks were going to dominate Italy, you know. Whatever, points to 0. I'm surprised they don't have the FIFA World Cup in New Zealand. I didn't hear that Dracus fight. I thought Usman was retired. I thought he was too. Who else is on that card? I know there's a card today. There's a pretty big card on in the near future. Jared Cannonier versus Christian Duncan, who I haven't heard of. Chase Hooper's on that card. Who else? Prelims. Okay, I don't know too many of the guys on that card other than the main, like, few fights. And if England wins the Norwegian Airlines must replace their Instagram logo with British Airways for a day and vice versa, says Inferno. Now Molina, back into the pocket. Albanoz chipping him behind, beautifully taken by Santiago Carreras with a good step to Thomas Williams. Shuts him down. Little knock on from Garcia. Connor versus Max Bliss today. Yeah, that's going to be an interesting fight, that one. I think the co-main's going to be good too, though. Paddy versus... it's BSD, isn't it? Well, they're just showing the replay of the camera getting smacked with that kick that did go in behind. Well, sadly, New Zealand are out of the FIFA World Cup, which is weird because they were dominant in the qualifiers. There's a what's up, guys. And predicting the top 3 in each hemisphere by the end of the year before the final weekend. Northern France, Ireland, Scotland, Southern New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina, your predictions. So you're doing them in order, right? I'm going to go a little bit risky. And I'm going to go Ireland, France, Scotland. Oh. No, I'm going to be a bit more harsh. I'm going to go France, Ireland, England. Nothing against the Scottish. But I think England may sneak them in the long run. And then Southern, I'm going South Africa, New Zealand. You go Argentina. I think with this win here, Argentina will be in a good spot. Because you could also look at Japan as not a terrible shout. But they have to win a couple more of their games, don't they? Kennedy is a beast. Fun to watch, but I think he's a bit gun-shy in recent years, says Inquisitor. I remember him back in, when was it? Maybe like 2021 or 22, was it? When he was first coming up the rankings before he even had any title fights or anything like that. Because he used to be a heavyweight, didn't he? And then lost a whole heap of weight so that he could fight at light heavyweight. How's family? Said, Mohadeen, they're doing well, I think. You been watching the cricket? Oh, I've watched hardly any cricket this year. Even that England versus New Zealand series, like the crazy finish, everything like that, I haven't seen it. As an Australia hosting the World Cup next year, gosh, they really need to fix their squad. Yeah, so they have got the hosting rights for the Union World Cup as well as the Rugby League World Cup later on this year. Now, they are favourites of that Rugby League World Cup. They are far from favourites for the Union one. Looks like Pablo Matera on the sideline about to make his way on. Alongside that looked like a Benitez Cruz. Did Chile win? I'll have a look. They were playing... Were they playing earlier or was it? I saw Uruguay versus someone was 36-36 and I didn't see the end result. It ended 36-36. It was a draw between two teams. I don't want to give away any spoilers. I realise that's probably too much of a spoiler already. So your predictions are France, Ireland, England, then South Africa, New Zealand, Argentina. I can see how you would predict that, but I differ on the England part. I hope Scotland get into the top three. So I'm actually Ireland first before France, though. Which is a bit bold, but I'm going a bit of a curveball there. But yeah, you said you hope Scotland get into the top three. But is that because of like a disliking of England or just because you're like just hoping they do and seeing them get there might be two different things, sadly, for the Scots. About 40 metres out from the line currently. Benitez Cruz. Not too far from making his way out onto the park, but for now, Garcia has been holding the fort in the starting lineup. He's welterweight now. Oh, yeah, sorry, he might have been light heavyweight down to lower weight class than that, rather than being heavy and going slightly lighter. I think he was lighter and then went quite a lot lighter. Yeah, he used to be a light heavyweight, didn't he, Jared Cannonier? Now, Mateo Carreras, tackled by Alice Mee. To 48 minutes through this matchup currently. We haven't seen a try in the second half as of yet, but Argentina looking to change it with a fend and a beautiful flick pass on the inside. Joaquin Oviedo gets another one here. Oh, the big dive. That ground's bloody hard. So hopefully he hasn't hurt himself in the process, but it is try number 5 for Los Pumas in this game. And that scalp waits until the end of year. And also, does Zimbabwe play today? Zimbabwe have a game in 3 hours' time up against the USA. And Chile play Hong Kong in 1 hour 36. He might have gone from heavy to lightweight to welterweight. I'd have to Google it. Says Inquisitor. That's a beautiful flick pass on the inside back to Joaquin Oviedo. And Scotland was a hard game. Australia and New Zealand will be very wary. Scotland might take their scalp. That one has gone over. Now 35-14. Wales were in this game. And I think that's something that's definitely going to hurt them a bit here. They would have felt like they had a pretty decent shot of staying competitive. And then from there, it's just gone that little bit more downhill. And RP Wales win streak. Says Big Rig, yeah, unless something drastic happens in the second half, they are looking like they've lost that streak that they had worked hard to build. Wales can still theoretically work their way towards the bonus point. Somewhere in the distance, Squid Rugby is crying. Said Big Rig. I will have to have a wee look. I know that people always mention when Australia lose about wildcard, but he's had a tough couple weeks in terms of some of the results we've seen from the Wallabies. Sitting 10 metres out. Pablo Matera recently made his way on for Joaquin Oviedo, so he actually just scored a try and then got taken off. Is Delgi allergic to the ball or the try line? He hasn't had a lot, has he? In fact, Mateo Carreras even. It just seems like the wingers aren't getting too many chances for the Argentines. Even though they're having a lot of runs, they're just short along the way. Predictions for the Nations Cup. Romania, Georgia, Spain. Americas and Pacific, Samoa, Tonga, Uruguay. Your predictions? I haven't actually watched the first round of that as of yet. I'm waiting until after, and it's a risky tactic because they might take them away after a while. But what I'm going to be doing is watching the Nations Championship, and then as soon as we hit the after stage of the Nations Championship, watching the Nations Cup games, just so that I can watch them without getting them confused with the Nations Championship, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I can let you know in like 3 weeks' time when I've watched all the games and decided a bit closer. Now, we're late, not the straightest line out from the Welsh, but possession in hand now for Aaron Wainwright. Teddy Williams on for Ben Carter. And Lewis Rees-Zammit also makes his way on. Have we played front yet? The AB's asking for a friend. Yes, the All Blacks have played them. They played them last week and managed to get that narrow victory. Oh, close to the knock-on for Delguy, but he's done well. Oh, no, in fact, no, he did knock it on the ground. And Paul Wales had too much confidence coming into this game. Yes, we beat France in game 1. And I don't think anyone is predicting Australia to win the Rugby World Cup 2027. How many winning streaks the Springboks on? 10 if you count their game up against the Barbarians. So their last loss was actually at Eden Park. That's how far back you got to go find that last unsuccessful match. Rugby World Cup should be 32 teams, then a round of 24. Says David. Yeah, see, it will be interesting to see how they try and extend the competition in the future. Because, you know, I would say as a whole, like, I like the fact that there's more teams, but I also know that there's going to be a lot more one-sided games. So it's kind of trying to find that happy medium of giving lower sides a chance more. But, yeah, it's a difficult one. Can the South African please be more self-aware? As the South African says, Lynette. Yeah. Many of them mean well, though. I think it's just you're not allowed to say anything bad about South Africa. Which I've kind of gotten used to now. Okay, Huri Montoya just getting a bit of a warning there from Paul Williams. ABs will run down Prendergast's channel all day long next week. Says Power Bite. Looks like Rondona. Going to be in that number 6 jersey for this matchup. And also 8, including the recent Barbarians game. Their box also won. Says Pietek, and that is going to be the penalty going the way of the Argentines. And this seems like now a big chance for Argentina to again work their way towards the try line. And Kevin Else is a real pie man. 2 more tries needed for the Welsh to get into that bonus point category. Now we critique our Springbok very harsh. Same like New Zealand harsh on their team. Says Eugene. As Wales have given up, says Jameson. I don't think they've completely given up, but they certainly aren't going great here. But, you know, it's not over yet. Argentina, they are looking for try number 6 now. With Benitez Cruz, pops the ball up short. Wales have spent a lot more time in this game defending as of late. Oh, Benitez Cruz digging around in that breakdown. Pablo Matera going away to the left-hand side. Now past one more out to the Batista Delguy. Do you see Cheslin Colbin playing next week? Probably. Oh, you know, I'd chuck him in there if I was Rusty, but it's very hard to tell yet again what they would be doing. Now close to the try line here for the Argentines. Hong Kong, China in the first match of the World Cup. Who set that up? The cricket affiliate of World Rugby. Well, Carlo Tizzano actually said about it on an interview. He said it would have absolutely loved to have New Zealand versus Australia, but they shied away from doing that match. Question about log points. If 2 teams draw, but one has scored 4 tries and the other only kick penalties. Does the one, tell you what, they've got over anyway, there, Argentina. We'll come back to that in a short moment, but it is the try And the number 22 jersey for Matthias Maroni as Argentina move up to 40 now. Knowing Rossi will have 8 to 9 changes again. So does the one get 3 log points and the only other get 2 points? So if 2 teams draw, one has scored the 4 tries. So the one who scored the 4 tries would get the bonus point, but the other team would still get their 2 points anyway. You've been up all night, Amish? Certainly have. It looks like we are going to have a little review here, just to make sure this one's all right. No, in fact, I've cleared it all. I said it is completely fine. Oh no, now they're saying stop the shot clock. I can hear Rossi already saying, let's see how many changes we can make to pressure the players, says Albert. And the one thing I will say as a South African is don't keep saying 4 World Cups, especially when the Sharks are losing and something like that. Okay, that kind of looks like a knock-on from Simon Benitez Cruz. Okay, so this one is going to be ruled as a knock-on and it will be no try for Los Pumas here. The reason why it isn't Australia versus New Zealand is because Australia doesn't want to start with a loss. They have missed a great opportunity to showcase a great opening, says David. Yeah, it is a shame that they weren't willing to have that as the opening match. Because, you could have easily looked at that one as one of the biggest pool stage matches. We have good there. Hi, Amish, greeting from Vic and Vern. Welcome in. Is it Vic or is it Vernie? Or maybe, I guess because you said both, it might be both. Popping in, so hope you guys are doing well. No try. It's going to be the knock-on, so it will be Wales, who have got themselves penalised anyway for offside. Now, Argentina, their mindset will not change, yes or no. Not so many marriage proposals this game. Yeah, we haven't seen any as of yet. Let's keep it that way. But 5 metres out from the line here, Argentina. What is the verdict? It looks like a quick tap. We have you there to Wales just not pick Johnny McNichol, or does he not want to play for them anymore? I'm not actually too sure what the goal is. I know that he's quite old, Johnny McNichol, in terms of rugby years, so I think he's just decided that he's done for in terms of internationals. That's close to the line for Pablo Matera. 1 metre short. No, in fact, held up is the call from Paul Williams. So it is going to be a reset. Argentina almost going over again, this time with Pablo Matera as that man. Okay, they're saying that a player is injured. Is he going to be all right here, Dowie Lake? It looks like a knee injury. I'm getting ready for the England versus Norway game and listening to you. Oh, yeah, because you'll be doing the FIFA World Cup match, won't you? That one's kicking off in about 25 minutes time or so. Dowie Lake just giving a handshake to the referee as he makes his way from the field, but his knee does not look in a good way. He did score the opening try of this matchup. And the 50th cap here for Ryan Elias. Around the halfway line, Pablo Matera. Oh, big run forward. Another short ball. So 3-3 says cool story. Yeah, I haven't actually done the tallying up for this round, but New Zealand won, South Africa won. And then I guess if Argentina win this, yeah, it would be 3-3 again. So same as the last round, another knock on, this time from Batista Del Gui. This match has kind of had a little bit of a stalemate here with both sides making plenty of errors. Andre Pollard just laughed in the post-match interview. When asked about his injury, confirming my suspicion. He went to have a chat with Rossi, says Albert. And there's still a lot of time on the clock, but Wales seem content with the looming loss. And who do you think are going through England and Argentina versus Switzerland? See, Norway, England, I'm not sure about, to be honest. Argentina should beat Switzerland, but it's hard to tell as well. Like, there's some pretty handy sides still left in the competition. The better one to ask there for that question would be Vic and Vern, as I've been covering a lot of the FIFA World Cup on Vic and Vern Sports, or Vic and Vern's Football, I believe is the name of that channel. Are you cheering for Argentina in the FIFA as they are Southern Hemisphere? I mean, I hope that they do all right. Now going away to the right-hand side. Chance here for Wales to get the attack going. Sam Costello passes across to Blair Murray. Now Lewis Rees-Zammit, some quick stepping up to the halfway line. Sam Costello. Blair Murray. I'm going to sneak forward a couple of extra metres. My point is Andre didn't have an injury. Says Albert. We'll need help from the ref against Egypt. Ridiculous match, by the way, says More Plunder. I heard there was a bit of controversy around that game. I don't know why. Like, I haven't actually watched it or anything about it. Kind of rooting against Argentina because FIFA's treatment for them has been corrupt as heck. Felt so bad for Belgium. Argentina are too good for the Welsh, says George. If England go out against Norway, expect a riot in London, says Xander. I'll have to use it again now. I'm going to kick this one up. And down again. Now trying to step around for Sam Costello. What is the time in New Zealand, South Island at the moment? It is currently 8:37 a.m. Nicky Smith. Now Williams moving it on again. Skip pass on the outside for the Welsh. Max Llewellyn. A few changes have been made for the Welsh. The way you said Belgium, are you okay? Yeah, I think the vocal cord gave out a little bit. And this was one more. This was more one-sided. Then we got it in the end. Then I had expected, says Inquisitor. New Zealand missed the opportunity in first after this round. They plus 6 points differential behind South Africa. Next week, South Africa will demolish Wales by probably 100 points, and New Zealand could possibly lose at Eden Park, says Cameron. Argentine Rugby want revenge at home against England. There's the penalty advantage now in favour of Wales yet again. Who's New Zealand playing next week? Eden Park up against the Irish. Argentine Rugby want revenge at home against England. Oh, Thomas Williams just yelling about something there. Oh, I've just heard a knock at the door, ladies and gentlemen. And that will be, I got some groceries that I was hoping would get delivered later on, but they've been delivered now. So while Sam Costello kicks his ball into touch, I'm going to briefly disappear because or else someone might steal them. So I will be back in like half of a minute. You'll still be able to hear me. Okay, you couldn't actually still hear me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera off. Maybe? How do I do that? Like that, you guys can still hear me. I'm just going to pop away, and then I'll be right back. I'm just going to put some groceries inside. There's currently a line-out reset taking place. Right, we're back. It's actually quite frosty outside too, I've just learnt. I didn't even look till now. Passed on the outside to the left-hand side for the Welsh. Sacrifice the same as makes for these 24-hour streams. Bless them, says Inquisitor. Yeah. I just didn't want my groceries getting stolen, that's all. It would have been a rough day at the office if that was the case. Nice ball on the inside, Josh Adams. Those pink sandals look funny on you, Hamish, says Albert. And well, they deliver early in the morning there. Yeah. Oh, Paul Williams getting angry at one of the players. Now break in the line almost through was Lewis Rees-Zammit. Thought you got hijacked, says Brian. And a good feed before a solid rest, says the underdog. Argentina piling in people into the breakdown. Still stays on the side of the Welsh again, though. Aaron Wainwright. Still on their side. Jack Morgan moving it on. To 8 phases here. Wales need 2 tries. If they want any chance of qualifying in the top 3 of the Nations Championship Northern Hemisphere draw, they need another one. Do New Zealanders steal groceries in New Zealand? No idea. This is my first time ordering groceries to this location, but like the road's right there. So I don't know if someone would see them and be like, oh, yep, I'll have some burger buns. I mentioned how I was having burgers tonight, so I really wanted to keep those burger buns intact. Now up to 14 phases in a row for Wales. Thomas Williams across to the left-hand side. ABs ain't losing. After that, absolutely atrocious performance. Against Japan, I nearly had a stroke, says War Plunder. We're up to 15 phases now, though. They're continuing to try here, the Welsh, which is something that you want to see, although that is very close to a turnover for Matthias Maroni. He had his try chalked out earlier on in the match. A discount burger, says Inquisitor. I guess I would have been having discount burgers because they wouldn't have had buns, so they would have just been, like, pretty sad looking. And penalty goes the way of Wales. They will not be kicking for the post, ladies and gentlemen, not with a scoreline like 35-14. They will be going aggressive-minded. They're just saying about the tempo that both of these sides have been playing at. Now the kick towards the touchline. Where are we? We got Elias still out there. That is due to that knee injury of Dowie Lake. Just looking around for Julian Montoya's bright white headgear again, or that band that he's got around his head holding his forehead together. Nothing like discount burgers when you're hungry. You prefer chicken or beef burgers? It depends on the day. It is a good place for both of them, I think. This rolling maul's half by stopped. There is the penalty advantage again now, though. Costello kicks it in behind. Murray chasing after it. Ball sits up for the Argentines. No joke. That's how my nan used to make burgers, just a patty with some mash and peas. Did she call them burgers or did she call them... Well, I guess some people call the patty itself a burger, don't they? We have I'm supporting the team Messi is in, says Albert. Right, this looks like another quick tap coming on the side of the Welsh. Oh, no, never mind. He's been told not to do that for Sam Costello, so they will again kick it into touch. I'm just looking at Jack Morgan here. The reason I'm looking at him is he scored a try off a rolling maul twice in last week's game up against the Fijians. They haven't been able to use him that much here up against Argentina. He almost scored that try that was ruled out. I'm more of a pie man myself. That makes a little bit of sense, I would say. Now, a debutant, Kane James. He comes on for Aaron Wainwright. That would have been a bit of a mistake had I said, oh, look out for Jack Morgan on this rolling maul, and then if he had been taken off right at that moment. It's thrown in now. Adam Baird passes back to Morgan, flicks it on. Nice inside ball. Only a couple metres short. Argentina straight and off their feet again. They have to be careful not to give away something cynical here. Close to the line for Ryan Elias. Turned onto the back again. Firing it back across and through they go with the try for the number 18, Ben Warren. 13 minutes remaining. Wales aren't completely out of this game, but they have to fire again in quick fashion here. And we have got there, we Americans describe working at Macca's as flipping burgers. They do usually mean the patties. But yeah, that was a one-on-one tackle that, unfortunately for Grandoni, he was never going to win when Ben Warren saw that goal line and just charged for it. But we're just hearing a bit of a conversation. Okay, no, I think it's all right. I hope it's all right anyway. It would be a shame to see that one chalked off. 35 points to 21. And yeah, here we call the patties burgers. So here's Big Rick. Because I guess here we call them burger buns. But then that's because the burger, is that because they're a part of the burger? Or because the burger goes in them? I'm going to hurt my brain if I keep thinking this hard. Sam Costello, tackled inside of the 22. Few people know burgers started as a meal only. As a meat only. Bread roll added later to keep hands clean when eating, and then garnish added even later to counter the dryness of the bread. Well, there you go. Who would have thought we'd learn so much about burgers at 8:46 a.m.? One is put into touch. Williams getting some decent distance on that kick. If ever supporting whichever team Messi is in. Says power bite. One more try needed for Wales here. If they convert the next try that they get, they would manage to get themselves into a bonus point position. It is as long as Argentina don't score again. That's the main one. These are the important questions. Says Inquisitor. Now Simon Benitez Cruz crossed at the right-hand side again. Oh, tackling a little bit too high, and that one was Joe Hawkins. Pick and go from Ignacio Ruiz round the halfway line. Can't beat a burger on a braai. And not to hurt your brain even more, Hamish, but we can extend this to a hot dog and a hot dog buns. As a sausage a hot dog, or is the combination of the sausage and the bun the hot dog? Then also here in New Zealand, we put a stick in a hot dog and then batter it and fry it. And we call it a hot dog too, even though I think they're corn dogs in America. Now back to the right. Costello, skip pass out to Lewis Reese Zammit cutting in. But again, they've done very well to be able to get him round the bootlaces and stop that line break. Los Pumas, says Pedro. And South Africa, we call them hamburgers, even though there's no ham in it. Seems like burgers are just a confusing thing, aren't they? Thomas Williams. Lewis Reese Zammit looking to chase after that one. Just had a bit of a slip as he looked to run forward there. Argentina back with ball in hand. Argentina will be well aware that they can still go on to draw or lose this game if they are not careful. 10 minutes, a long time in a game of rugby union. Now Benitez Cruz, two Argentine players actually collided with each other. That is a massive mistake. And now Jack Morgan breaking the line for the Welsh. Huge chopping tackle down low. You'd be surprised when a sandwich was invented. The man went all in. Says the AI underdog. Now passed on the outside here for Josh Adams. Was worried that he didn't quite have the support of his teammate on the outside, as was a few meters behind him. Now back across there. I'll take him by Costello again, and corn dog is a different thing. Says Pie. Now going back to the right. Now this is the youngster James. A good tackle on him by Marcos Crema. Xander loves coffee and sausage in the morning. Says Luke. You know what Wales love? A comeback. Currently, they are 8.5 minutes away from losing this contest. That's a very late shot from Ignacio Ruiz on Sam Costello. Oh, that looked like maybe a bit of an injury there and a breakdown from Jack Morgan too. So he is slow to get back up to his feet. Looks like he's holding his shin here. He's trying his best to stand back up. In fact, he's holding a bit of the calf muscle too. Backline movement. Costello goes up to Blair Murray. He's going to be all right to continue here, Morgan. Or are they going to have to take him off the field? It looks like he has recovered from a big chopping tackle on James again. And penalty goes the way of Argentina. Is Montoya on? Not currently. They got Ignacio Ruiz out there now. Oh, no. Sorry, Montoya is on. I'm sure we saw Ignacio Ruiz too. Unless I was getting my numbers confused, and maybe that was Machete who I was seeing. Wherever the hamburger comes from, the origin of the patty, being Hamburg, Germany. And just woke up, says other side of the fence. So what's a corn dog, says Inquisitor. Santiago Herreras kicks it into the Argentinian crowd. We're going to see it here. Morgan, he steps through. It's a really awkward chopping tackle again, round that kind of shin and knee region. Kane James taking some massive shots. And then just in off the feet. And Scotland coach flat out said South Africa best team in the world after the match. Says Albert. Well, had he said anything else, he probably would have been ripped into, wouldn't he? So I feel like it's not a bad thing to say. Well, I got to run down to the shop and grab some brews for the Norway game. Thanks for the stream, bro. Says Jameson. No worries. It sounds as if this game is a bit messy. Paint drying. Can it please end soon? Yeah, it hasn't been the most craziest game at times. Like the first half, back and forth, was pretty entertaining. Second half, there's been a lot more errors. And it has felt like it's taken a long time to kind of get anywhere in it. And Scotland did good, says other side of the fence. They did. Yeah, they were solid enough, the Scottish. I think they'll be impressed with what they were able to do as a whole. Oh, front row. Going to be standing up again. The free kick going against the Welsh of Argentina with the attack on the halfway line. Looping around was Albanos. Now Sinti gets through one. Oh, that's a knock-on the ground, though. So, again, we're going to have the scrum at a corn dog one. So, I was left unsure whether I had cake mixed with pep and Vienna in it or what. It was bad. I never gave it another try. Says so incredible. Also, we've got there, people call me Burger Boy or Pie at school. It's pretty cool. Says cool story. And Hamish, would you choose a burger or a pie as a last meal? How big's the burger and how big's the pie? Because you can get like a family-sized pie, but you don't have a family-sized burger. Tackles missed so far throughout this game. 28 by the Welsh. That hurts them big time. South Africa had 11 changes and went against a pretty good Scots team. Your thoughts? Says cool story. Yeah, it definitely wasn't a narrow loss. I can tell you that right now. I learnt that the hard way. It's the 2010 Wales team, says Sim Race. And just recovered from my Scottish flavoured heart attack. Says cited. Right, referee has said that scrum was 250-50 and he's not guessing in terms of who was making the mistake first. As a Bok fan, I'm running out of superlatives to praise Rassi in the box. Says Albert. Okay, get that weight on. Says Paul Williams to the front row. It's quite interesting. Montoya's actually packing down as a flanker here, by the looks of him. And Scotland played in South Africa at altitude. We're impressive. Says other side. Okay, Paul Williams was watching something very closely. He was saying that one of the players couldn't get his head down, so because of that, it was going to be a dangerous scrum, and that they had the reset because of that. Loftus Versfeld, the best stadium in the... I assume that's world. And how's Wales play? Oh, world, there it is from Ano. Yeah, someone commented about that on your post review. Yeah, it got bad, so I had to change the name of it. Like, I changed the title because I thought it was a narrow victory in terms of, like, the closeness of the game. Not so much scoreline-wise, but just in terms of the feel of the match. But no, I just changed it to just that they beat them, and that was better. Superlative means the absolute highest degree and ultimate limit of equality, says Albert. How's Wales playing so far? They've had some decent moments in this game, but they also just haven't quite found any sort of real momentum and... like more than just a couple little stints. They got an attacking chance now, though, and if they do score here and they convert, they will get themselves the losing bonus point. In fact, they'll receive 2 bonus points from this match, which would put them not too badly sitting on the Northern Hemisphere side of the draw. Now Ryan Elias. Taken at the front by James. Across Kieran Hardy, goes to Adams, almost through. Should be okay. There's 50 first starters. We have got there. Still don't understand how anyone can object to calling it a narrow victory. Or another penalty to Argentina. I think they took it as calling it narrow victory as an insult, even though like it was more so like just saying that it was a back and forth game. But Yeah. They probably also heard that I didn't have a South African accent and went, okay, he's hating on the team. Even though I think I praised them halfway through. Well, I think I praised them for most of that whole video, but the title obviously wasn't ideal. Wales too little too late, says Luke. And it was a narrow win, to be honest. Could have easily been a draw or a win for Scotland. Shout out to Finn Russell for passing the ball out and Kyle Stain for knocking the ball on 5 minutes from the try line. We have I actually think that was close as well. Don't let these South Africans get to you, says Cool Story. Now, Julio Montoya with 90 seconds remaining. So we're getting to throw this ball in, even though he's got a number 1 on his back. That one's taken by Crema. And some people will never be happy. Yeah. They were happy when I had the title South Africa Smash England. That one did well with the population. See the Box Stadium announced apologised to Henry Pollock for racking up the crowd against him. Pretty crazy cultish behaviour, says Nate. And Ryan Hamish, I'm going to call Joker Fuel and leave the dogfight. Thanks again and see you next week. We have got there, say whatever you want. At the end of the day, the Box won again. Yeah, exactly right. They still got the win at the end of the contest. There's a few battered and bruised players out there at the moment. Montoya's got cuts. Matera made his way off the bench. He's got a bit of a gash. We've seen Sam Costello looks like his eyes falling out. Meters game for Argentina, though. 187 for the Welsh, 453 for the Argentines here. Over there, many people skip the game and go by highlights and scoreline, which is always off, says so incredible. Now breaking through almost for Matthias Maroni. Yeah, exactly. If not for that Colstein knock on, I would have tied the game for the second time, says Yanko. Now Maroni moves it on to Pablo Matera. Santiago Herreras passes out to Batista Del Gay. Gets through the one, but then is dragged down in the second. Now ball across, this one right on the full-time siren for the Argentines. Can they finish it off in style? I think they'll go for one last attack here. They would not kick this ball out from this position on the field. Benitez Cruz, it's going to be a short ball. That ball's knocked backwards. I'm busting your chops, mate. Good banter, says our underdog. And also passing a bit untidy there for the Pumas. Argentina still want to get that one more try, but Wales still want that one more counter-attack. They can actually gain a lot more than Argentina can for scoring once in the closing moments. Box without marks, Vesen at 8. Ibenitsev, Lud, Dialende, Colby, Aran, Sasha. Now, no advantage. That is for Wales going straight and off their feet. Now back, Crema, Almanoz tries the no-look pass. Gets slammed down to the ground. And they'll go back for the penalty. Two players both in off the feet. They could take 3 if they wanted Argentina, but I think they might still go a little bit more aggressive here and look for those closing moments. Okay, I thought that was the full-time siren, but that was actually someone else's siren that they did have. Right, they're going for the tap 5 meters out. Has there been a whole game without a single card? Not that I can think of. Oh, ball stolen by the Welsh. It was a knock-on, and now the Welsh going for a bit of a counter-attack. Lewis Rees-Zammit, they cannot afford to go back for that advantage, or else the game would end. Now looking to go the full field length. Nicky Smith passes it on there. Nice hands from Adam Beard. Argentina wanting the steal if they can find it. Kieran Hardy fires it away. Rush defense from Marcos Crema. All told to get out of there. He's done it just in time, the Pumas player. And everyone's missing players, says other side. Now Sam Costello going to mine out to Lewis. Rees-Zammit off the mark and again. Just held onto by Blair Murray running down the wing. Ball back on the inside by Kieran Hardy. Looking to link up with Rees-Zammit. I don't know what's happened to that ball. It's ended up bouncing in a weird way. And that'll be the end of this contest. It is 35-21. Okay, Paul Williams signalling a knock on. I think Wales want this one checked. Okay, so he's blown the full-time whistle, and now he's talking to the players about the potential that it could have been maybe a penalty. And I meant this one. I can't remember anyone getting card, and I admittedly only been paying half attention. Yeah, no one had a card in this matchup, which is quite phenomenal. Yeah, Jack Morgan looking to the referee with almost a pleading look on his face, asking why they didn't receive the penalty there. And that is going to be time off. Wales will receive 0 points from this match. And go eat your budget burgers, Hamish. Thanks for today's streams. Here's Albert there, and thanks, Hamish, for the great commentary. Get some rest, man. Here's Luke there too. But yeah, nonetheless, we have got the under-20s games taking place in a couple days' time that we are hoping to cover on the channel. Also, throughout the week, we are going to be having those lineup predictions, as well as what I'd like to see for the All Blacks. We'd like to do a lineup prediction for the Springboks, but normally Rassi is too fast for us, so we don't get a chance to get it out in time. But yeah, nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.